Matt Whitaker, former acting U.S. Attorney General, joins us now. Look, Matt, you've been in courtrooms. You understand the nuance from what you're hearing inside a courtroom. Did you glean anything from the lawyer's arguments or from the judge yesterday?
Yeah, I think Judge Cannon summed it up with her one question as to what harm is done by appointing a special master. And the answer, which the government was unwilling to do, is it provides oversight and accountability to the government, and I think ultimately they should welcome that in this case. I mean, there's been obviously a lot of criticism, a lot of questioning of the why they went into Mar-a-Lago, why they used this technique to execute a search warrant. And I think a special master would provide that oversight and accountability that would, allay a lot of Americans' fears.
And I want to get to this. Last night, the president, it was basically the soul of the nation speech, spent the majority of the time targeting MAGA Republicans, basically saying if you aren't with the Democrats, then you're an extremist. Listen to this.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backward.
You know, not that any time is a good time to create division in the country, but what was the point of choosing last night to do this, to ostracize half the country?
Yeah, the president really seems to have a lot of animosity towards his fellow citizens, and we have not seen this from a president of the United States. Not even Abraham Lincoln, who was at war with half of the country at his time, had this kind of animosity. But, I travel all over the country. I've been in New Mexico recently, Pennsylvania, and Iowa, and I see Republicans, I see Trump voters, I see the types of people that I think he's trying to categorize as being deplorable and, sort of not worth our, kind of our time or attention. And they're hardworking Americans that love their country, they love their family, they want better things. They respect law enforcement. And I really see this as just him trying to blame somebody else for his policy failings. I mean, inflation's sky high. We have a crisis at our southern border. People are getting killed in our major cities, and we have this fentanyl crisis that, from the podium, the spokesperson said that, because they're seizing more fentanyl at the border, they're declaring victory. This is, not the America that I think most of our country and our fellow citizens want. And obviously, 22 elections going to be a referendum on Joe Biden.
Yeah, Matt, to the election point, I know you're not a campaign strategist, but you are an attorney, and attorneys think strategically. How should Republicans use this speech on the campaign trail in the next 2 months?
Well, they should, because this election should be about Joe Biden. Midterm elections are always about the incumbent president and their performance. And I can't see a single facet of our society that is better off. I mean, remember, the Democrats and Joe Biden's allies want to continue to put masks on children in schools. They want, to somehow defund the police. No matter what you hear from the president, the radical left, who Joe Biden represents, wants to hurt our fellow citizens in the name of equity and social justice. And so, as I look across this country and the places I visit, Americans are sick and tired of Joe Biden's policies. We've had he and Barack Obama have had a majority of leadership in the last decade, and it's failing. And we need some accountability, some rational, sound policies, and the basic blocking and tackling of the American system of both capitalism and good government that, is a one-tiered system of justice that doesn't punish political enemies. And, the recipe is simple, but Todd, we're not seeing it right now. And that's why I think a lot of Americans are concerned about the future of our country.
Right. And also don't forget them positioning Marines in uniform behind Biden for that. So that was also